Hi everyone, and welcome to another one of these Transformers IDW hardcover book reviews. And of course, joining me in this review is my dad here.
Hey, howdy y'all. So, like he said, this is what we're going to be taking a look at.
And we're moving on to a brand new series of Transformers here. Because we've already done with, we're already done with phase 1 of the entire collection. So now we're going to be moving into phase 2. And this is the first volume of phase 2. And also to show y'all the new cover here that we have. You can see there is a picture of Optimus here. But in here, Optimus is no longer Optimus anymore. And we'll get to why he's no longer Optimus anymore. And he's also no longer the leader of his Autobots anymore. And we'll get to why when we get to see what's inside of it. But here's the new cover of Phase 2 Volume 1. And you could see some of the red on Optimus is flaking off. Like they're chipping off. And on the side you have the number 1, which is the first volume of Transformers. And on the side you have Transformers, the IDW collection phase 2. And has IDW here. And on the back you have a picture of Optimus's vehicle mode here. And here it has like a little bio here telling you what's in it here. So that is the review of this new cover here. So now let's see what's inside of it. If I can adjust the camera down some.
You want to do it on the table?
Well, I was gonna do it on the table to show y'all the inside of it, but I really don't have anything to help prop this up. So I guess we're just gonna have to do it on here. But let's see what's inside of it.
It's a black page.
But there is some stars here. And on this side you have a picture of Optimus here, who's no longer Optimus anymore.
This book right here, this chapter, this IDW book right here is really, it takes you for a spin. There's a couple of things that happens in there that you wouldn't think would happen, but it happens.
So, and here is the contents here of what we have. And in this book we have the one-shot comic called The Death of Optimus Prime, which, and also we have the first ongoing of More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in the Skies here. And here it tells you that the war is over and other things, and the hard part begins here. Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and start off with the one-shot comic called The Death of Optimus Prime. Now, before we get into the story itself, let's first talk about the title, which is, of course, the Death of Optimus Prime. Now, when you hear that, you may be thinking, oh no, is he gonna die
Again?
Like we've seen a number of times already? Yes and no. Because in this one-shot comic, Optimus does not die in this. What happened in this comic here is that, well, what this one-shot comic is that Optimus is saying he's no longer the leader of the Autobots anymore.
He wants to pretty much be left alone to do some soul searching for himself. But on Cybertron and stuff like that, it's just he feels like it's time to go.
Right.
It's time to pass the wisdom on. Let leaders be leaders. So he feels like it's his time to go.
And also, what he does is he takes the matrix of leadership and he breaks it in half, and he gives it to both Rodimus and Bumblebee so they can go off their own business and like assemble their own teams.
So
and that is where the first issues of the two new ongoings start, which is More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise.
Now, since that happened, Bumblebee, he's more or less like, I can never make good decisions like Prime. Prime always knew what to say. Prime always knew what to do. I am secure about this position, but I'm going to give it my best shot. As far as the other one, that's Hot Rod?
Rodimus.
Thank you, Rodimus.
He's no longer Hot Rod anymore.
Yes, you're right. Rodimus takes the other half, and he's like, let's get it on. Where Bumblebee is more decisive and more kind of bouncing in between decisions, because all he knew for a leader was Prime. And now they voted pretty much Bumblebee to fill in Prime's shoes. And that's a lot of responsibility to deal with. So Bumblebee's kind of, he wants it, but he's not confident enough to be in that position. And as he grows with the title and position, he's going to make some hard choices. And you'll find out in this book some of the choices he had to make, which were not fun, is not fun. Anybody in leadership knows the decisions that you have to make are not easy or not fun. But your position calls on it. So therefore you have to make the decision and live with it.
And here you could see Optimus separating the matrix of leadership, and he's giving it to both Rodimus and Bumblebee here. And also the Decepticons in this one-shot comic are they have the ID chips in them.
The ID chips is what tracks them, lets the Autobots track them to find out if they're getting out of balance or if they're going crazy or what their position is. It's kind of like a tracking device for the Decepticons. Because now, here on Cybertron and stuff like that, the Autobots and Decepticons are back on Cybertron. So now they have to make this work after decades and billions of years of destruction throughout the galaxy. Now they come back to Cybertron, and they have to coexist with each other now on this one planet that used to be their home,
which is Cybertron.
Yes. So there's some scrapping and some arguing, and then you have another faction that comes in besides the Autobots and Decepticons that are there,
which are called the Nails.
Yeah, to give you some backstory about the Nails, they were kind of outcast away from Cybertron, and they just spread out amongst the stars. But word got out around the people who were outcast, and hey, look, the war's over between Autobots and Decepticons. You can come back to Cybertron, back to your home. So the Nails started showing up that were some missing puzzles between the Autobots and Decepticons that they didn't want no part of it. And now they're back on Cybertron, and they have to adapt with the ex-Autobots and ex-Decepticons in order to make the Cybertron a home again.
And to show you what the Nails look like, if I can find them, because they are in here. Here they are. These are the Nails here.
There's an acronym behind it, but I forgot what it was. For Nails. So, they have to fit in with the Decepticons and Autobots of a war that's is supposedly done.
Yes.
So,
because the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons is now over. And that's where the hard part begins.
So now you have three factions on this world who have to come together to make this a home again. So, now, remember the Decepticons, that name, you never trust a name like that. And you'll see, because Prowl has a hard time
Yes.
coming to a realization. Because all Prowl knows is fighting the Decepticons. He very rarely remembers a time when he wasn't fighting or searching out for a Decepticon.
So that's about it for the death of Optimus Prime. Now we're at, well, we are now at the two new ongoings, which is More Than Meets the Eye, which is here, and this is the first issue of More Than Meets the Eye here, and also Robots in Disguise. But here, we're going to start off with the first issue of More Than Meets the Eye here. And as you can see here, Rodimus is now assembling his team to go look for what is called the Knights of Cybertron. And the team here is called the Lost Light team.
Yes. It's there's a reason why, Rodimus Prime feels kind of lost without Optimus Prime there. But he's still a good enough leader that he can stand on his own with his own troops.
And here you can see Ratchet is talking to Bumblebee here. And Ratchet is saying to Bumblebee, I'm going to go with Rodimus. And you're staying here on Cybertron.
Right. So that right there is like, Bumblebee's like, you are the best medic and you're going to leave?
and here you can see Prowl here. Well, Prowl here is talking to this robot named Chrome Dome. And here you can see that this robot here, who is talking, named Rewind here. And Rewind and Chrome Dome are now going with Rodimus and the others.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Prowl is staying on Cybertron.
Right, because you remember you got a faction of Decepticons there on Cybertron now, and Prowl's like, I'm keeping an eye on y'all because I don't trust y'all. Until my spark is over, I will never trust y'all.
And here you can see Prowl is getting really aggravated. So to get out his frustration, what he does is he takes the table and flips it. He just flips the table. You could see here. And here we see Tailgate here, who has missed out on a lot of things from the war.
The war. He's pretty much been knocked out for a long time. So, but as you read into the story and stuff like that, you'll find out why he was knocked out, and he was pretty much. I pretty much missed everything. Yep, you pretty much did.
And here we can see this robot named Whirl here. which we will see a lot more of Whirl in the More Than Meets the Eye comic.
Whirl is just like Prowl, except for Whirl is more a looser cannon than Prowl. Because he pretty much lets his emotions overrule his thoughts. And he can go from good guy to crazy in 5.2 seconds.
And here, Whirl is now meeting with a Decepticon who is named Cyclonus, and him and Cyclonus just started beating each other up.
Yeah, that's a good way to say hi. Yeah, there you go. It'll all work out, just, you know. So they had some bad relationships that they had to sort out.
Now here, we see Rodimus and his Lost Light crew about to be sent off to go look for the Knights of Cybertron. Now, here you can see Bumblebee, Prowl, and the others are looking at the ship where Rodimus and the Lost Light crew are seeing them take off. So here you can see that they're taking off, but here Bumblebee and Prowl sees a boom, which Bumblebee thought that they were dead, but no, they actually teleported.
Yes.
If you can call it, yes. So Bumblebee thought that they were dead, but no.
Bumblebee sees one side of the spaceship that they were all in, Rodimus and all the companions and stuff like that, and sees them, which he thinks saw the ship explode for some reason.
Right.
Now Bumblebee has got his suspicions, but that's not what happened to the ship. The ship actually teleported somewhere else. To another part of the galaxy. So, and like I said, you would have to read it because there's some things that happens in here that's very surprising in the decisions you have to make.
And now we're at the second issue of More Than Meets the Eye. And we see this robot here named Brainstorm here.
Is it that, have we already passed the part of horrible?
No.
Okay.
We're still in More Than Meets the Eye.
Okay. Alright.
And like I said, we do see Brainstorm here, and he's calling on someone. And we do see these robots. Well, before we get to these robots, we do have this blue robot who's named Skids here. And he was in a ship, but then he got released from the ship, and he sees these robots who are called the 1984 robots here. And yes, these are called the 1984 robots. Because they say 1984, 1984.
Now, if y'all know the history about Transformers, 1984, if you remember, that's when Transformers first made their appearance.
That's when Transformers was first born.
Well, it was born before 1984, but that was the first appearance of the cartoon and Transformers mass market in the stores.
Yeah.
Was 1984. And before that was the GoBots. Anyway.
And here in this page, we do see Ratchet, who is repairing this robot here named Rung, who was in the last volume of Phase 1. And like I told you, in the volume 8 of Phase 1, which was the last volume, we will see more of him in this.
Mm-hmm.
And Rung here is the
Yes. That's what I thought it was.
the psychiatrist.
Yes, Rung is like, how can I put it in this way? Rung is the crazy person's for the good guys Perceptor. If you put Perceptor and put him with a shrink mind who looks into the mind and see what's going on, that would be this guy right here.
Rung.
Because Rung's got a lot of super science words for what's going on, and he's not a soldier at all. He's more like, let's sit down, let's talk about it. What's your problem? So he's more like the Autobot Shrink.
And here you can see Ratchet is just beating his hands with a hammer, because Ratchet's hands have like age.
Yes, Ratchet is old and he's getting frustrated because he used to be a super scientist, a super fixer-upper person, a super person who could repair Autobots in the field and stuff like that. Well, he's getting age on him too, and his hands are starting to show because they're not working as good as what they used to back in his younger years.
Right.
So he's kind of frustrated about that. So you actually look at it, I mean, this book has some issues to do with life that we all have to deal with.
And here we can see Skids trying to fight off the 1984 robots here.
1984 robots.
That is what they're called.
Yeah, that's crazy. 1984. Okay. That is wild.
And here we can see Cyclonus and Rodimus just talking to each other.
Yeah.
And also, Tailgate here, but by the way, here in this picture, we can see Tailgate is transforming into a vehicle mode, yes.
He's supposed to be like a sports car, like Windcharger. Supposed to be.
But here he's like a Cybertronian car mode.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, Tailgate also mentions that he wanted to be a Decepticon.
Yes, because since he has been pretty much MIA through the whole war of the Autobots and Decepticons, guess who gets a hold to talk to him? It was Cyclonus, and he's like, I'm going to join the Decepticons. And the Autobots were like, what? He's like, no, you misheard something. And he's like, no, I want to be a Decepticon. You have no idea what you're asking. So, anyway. Because he's been MIA for so long, he has no information about the Autobots and Decepticons. He just knows that he missed out. So with knowing that information, you can easily manipulate somebody else into thinking what you want them to think. And that's what Cyclonus did.
And also here, you could see Cyclonus is carrying Tailgate here. And what he does in this panel is he just basically just drops him.
He says, I'm not your babysitter. He says, there you go, buddy. 2 parts, 1 part, it don't matter to me. And there's more to that story. You know, you have to read it, get off into it. We're just only touching up bits and parts of it. just like the whole book, this is just a spotlight review on a couple of areas that we thought was most significant in this book. The whole book's good, don't get me wrong, but...
And I am trying to, like, show you as many pages as I can, like, trying to show y'all what I can, instead of just flipping page by page by page.
Yeah, it's okay. Really, these right here are kind of long and windy, you know, but there's just a lot to cover in the book. So we try to make it as, we only touch up on a couple of parts that we think are best in the book that really stood out for us.
And also here in the More Than Meets the Eye issues in this volume, we do see, well, we don't see, but we hear the mentions of the scraplets. And the scraplets, for those of you who don't know, are those little munching robots, like the ones from Transformers Prime, those kinds of scraplets. Oh, and also, we are about to get to the end of the More Than Meets the Eye issues, but another one who makes an appearance here is Fortress Maximus here, who has been out for
a while.
For a while. Yes.
For a while, and are you? It's okay.
No.
Okay. It's alright. It's alright. It's okay.
But he basically takes 2 Decepticons and he goes all
berserk on them.
Berserk on them.
And that's the best way we can put it, because it's actually kind of graphical. It's actually kind of graphical what he does to them.
It is really graphic.
You know, and yeah, that was the last time they ever, yes. So somebody had to calm him, Maximus, down, so this way he wouldn't go total berserk. And they was able to calm him down, and he was able to come back to himself out of the rage of wanting revenge on the Decepticons. And there was 2 of them there, wrong place, wrong time. And And that was the last time they ever seen anything else again. We're going to leave it at that.
And that's about it for the issues of what's in this first volume of More Than Meets the Eye. Now we're at the issues, the first few issues of Robots in Disguise here, which takes place on Cybertron here.
Okay. Now remember, y'all, there's two factions. One group is on Cybertron. Another one took off in a spaceship. We're going to come back to that. This is taking place on Cybertron.
Right.
As the group was getting ready to get on the spaceship to leave Cybertron for the Knights to go look for them.
The Knights of Cybertron.
This guy right here, turn it back one, he wants to help the Nails. The nails. The needles.
You're talking about this guy?
Yes.
This guy's name is Metal Hawk.
Yes. And in this replica of him, he wants to help the Nails get situated into Cybertron because that is their home too. So he feels a responsibility, not to the Autobots, not to the Decepticons, but to the Nails, to kind of be their leader, to get back situated on their home planet. Because the Nails, they come back out of the universe to get back into Cybertron, so they can live in peace.
And here you can see the Decepticons are now like on Ratbat's command.
Yes, remember there is a faction of the Decepticons where these guys right here, they have a name of Decepticons for a reason. So there's a faction of these guys right here still pulling their own Decepticon treacherous ways. And Ratbat right now is the ringleader. Because remember, there's no Megatron.
Yes.
There's no Galvatron. There's no none of that. So Ratbat is the next in command. He pulled up the bootstraps and led the Decepticons. They're back on Cybertron now. So they're all just kind of listening to Ratbat.
Right. And here you can see there's Ironhide here driving around. And also here you can see, I think Ironhide just busted through this hall here where Omega Supreme is here, because you can see Omega Supreme's tank form is here. I think that is what happened.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Yes.
You have to understand something. Ironhide is an old soldier. He's been in this war for eons, and he is tired.
Yes.
Ironhide now, he's still got the strength, but it's not as... We all have our special points, okay? We all get older. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just the way it is.
Right.
So, Ironhide is now feeling his age, and he knows that he really wants to pass some wisdom to the younger generation and to the Nails, who would ever listen to him, because he does have a lot of experience underneath his belt in words of wisdom, because he's seen a lot, been through a lot, done a lot.
And we're now to this part here. Now, Horrible is with Needle Nose, and Horrible is beating up this guy here.
Yeah, if I'm right, he was a nail.
Yes.
So, Horrible went off the deep end. Needle Nose is right there, kind of like his comrade, and Horrible just lost his his stuff. I was fixing to say something, but I caught myself before I said it. I almost said it. He literally lost it on this nail, and Bumblebee and the rest of them are seeing what's going on. Now remember, these Decepticons have chips in them. And what
the ID chips.
There's a reason for them being in there, so they can track them until all is one and they feel like they no longer need these chips. Here's the bad thing. Some of them have already been disconnected. That no longer work. Not all of them. But the Autobots don't know this. Some of these chips still work. Well, guess what? Horrible going off on a rampage like he did. And remember what I said about decisions sometimes you have to make, you disagree with, but you know you have to do it for the greater good? That's what Bumblebee had to make. Bumblebee had to make a decision, and he tried to tell them, hey, you gotta stop. Hey, you gotta stop. You gotta stop this. I've got a controller here in my hand. Remember, you have a chip in you. But Horrible wouldn't listen, and he was just going on. So guess what? At some point you have to take owner of your actions, and Bumblebee had to make a decision to where he pushed the button. Guess what happened to Horrible?
Right here. Horrible's head blew off. And now he's dead.
He is gone.
And also, this robot named Skywarp saw Horrible dead. So he contacted Ratbat saying, hey, one of our fellow Decepticons, Horrible, is dead. So Ratbat told Cyclonus to return back to base.
Right.
And then he teleported back to base.
Correct. Now after this, after something like that, Bumblebee is living with the decision he had to make. So, that's a decision that he had to make.
Right.
Or else the nail would no longer have been there on Cybertron. He had been dead. So anyway, so now Bumblebee has to live with this, and it's what he had to do. So depending on what point of the spectrum are you looking at it through, then who's right?
And here you can see Bumblebee, Metalhawk, and Prowl and Sideswipe talking here.
Starscream comes into the picture. Starscream is more now, look, I know that the Autobots and Decepticons were back here on Cybertron along with the Nails. I have to calm down and get along with these people. I have to show the Autobots and the Nails that the Decepticons ain't bad in his perspective. So Starscream, he's trying to change the opinion of the Autobots, which that'll never work with Prowl. But, he can win over some Autobots, but still a bunch of them are leery. And the Nails are just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
And also, if you remember from All Hail Megatron, which was way back in Phase 1, Megatron told Starscream, one day you will be the leader of the Decepticons while I'm not around anymore.
Yep.
So this is kind of like those first step.
Yeah, this is him. He always wanted to be a leader of the Decepticons, but right now, you just don't trust a person like Starscream either. Because he can be good for a little while until his other agendas start to come in fruition or play in his favor.
And right here you can see Bumblebee is on the stage here talking to these robots. I think they're the nails here.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But then we're cut to this building here, and this is where this robot named Skyward comes in, and he has like a sniper rifle about to get ready to shoot. But then Prowl comes in and takes on Skywarp here.
Mm-hmm. He's like, what are you doing? And just remember, Prowl, he don't give them Decepticons any inch, not even a millimeter. He's always watching them.
And Prowl is also with another robot who was a female that was in one of the spotlights, and that is
RC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now she's on Prowl's side.
Yes, because RC is a crazy woman. Whoa,
Yes.
you seen what she did to G-Axis?
Yes.
Whoa. So anyway, she's got a way about her that she's your best friend, but you don't want to cross her. She will put you in the ground. Quick. So her and Prowl's talking and stuff like that, so she knows what she has to do. She's going to go hunt down Ratbat.
Yes, and that's what happened in one of the issues of Robots in Disguise. She took down Ratbat, and now Ratbat is dead.
Yeah, she pretty much took him out like yesterday's news. Yep, mm-hmm.
And here you can see Bumblebee is dealing with one of the aerial bots here, which is Silverbolt here. And the aerial bots does make an appearance in one of these issues, which y'all have seen a glimpse of from issue number 3, which is where we're at here already.
So y'all have to remember that this is IDW. Now, if you go back to G1 cartoon and follow the story of the aerial bots, they were in awe of Megatron because they didn't know the past history. So they wanted to almost idolize Megatron until they found out the whole story, and they're like, "Oh, we messed up." You know. But anyway, that's G1. Anyway, we're talking about IDW.
Yes.
So, I got off on a little rant right there. Got to reel myself back in. Alright, good.
And we also do see an appearance here in one of the issues of Robots in Disguise, which are the Combaticons who, like with Horrible, has the ID chips. So Prowl and RC go out and hunt for the Constructicons, and they basically just killed them. but we are going to find out in the later issues of Robots in the Skies where that they're going to be alive again. And Prowl is going to be the Constructicons' new members. Because one of the Constructicons' leader, which is Scrapper, way back in Phase 1 is dead. So now Prowl is going to be part of the Constructicons, but we're not there yet. And you can see here Prowl is taking down one of the Insecticons, who is Bombshell here.
Yeah. Bombshell's kind of like the evil master professor. Scientist. He likes to experiment a lot on a bunch of different things.
And like I told y'all before, I am trying to show y'all as many pages as I can, instead of just showing page by page by page.
Yeah, that would take up too long. So we have pretty much Metal Hulk, Bumblebee, Starscream. Now, who's speaking on their behalf is Starscream, Bumblebee, and I want to call him Silver Hulk.
Metal Hulk.
Thank you, Metal Hulk.
And we also do have an appearance of a character who is like a Beast Wars character, but he wasn't from the Beast Wars cartoon. He was from the Robots in the Skies cartoon. Not the 2015 version, but the 2001 version. And that is Skybite.
Mm-hmm. Skybite is a Decepticon by allegiance, but he's one of these kind of whichever the way the wind blows, that's what he goes with for Skybite.
And this is Skybite here. And Skybite is the character that transforms into that flying shark.
Yeah.
Robotic shark.
A flying shark.
Just like in the Robots in the Skies 2001 cartoon.
Yeah.
Which was the anime version.
Yeah. Crazy.
And I think we're done with the 5 issues of Robots in the Skies, and we have 2 more issues of More Than Meets the Eye here. And here we can see in the 4th issue of More Than Meets the Eye, we do have some narrations of this robot here, who was a Protectobot, like part of the Protectobots named First Aid here.
Right, First Aid.
And here we can see that this robot here, which we are going to see more of, his name is Ambulon here. And Ambulon does transform, but he doesn't like transform into like a vehicle mode or any mode. He actually transforms into a limb, which is a leg. You remember?
Yeah, it's very it's weird. Now this story right here is kind of unique. I mean, Like a plague. It's kind of like a plague, and they're trying to search for the first aid. He's making recordings every day of what's going on with this plague and how it's affecting everybody in the establishment. And it's like rust that all of a sudden just starts attacking them and then starts melting them and eating through them. It's crazy.
And you could see here in this part here, which is what my dad was telling y'all about. It's that red rust stuff that affects them.
Yes, it's kind of like a cosmic kind of rust that attacks their skeletal and robotic system. Everything about them. It just tears them apart, and they don't have much time to live after that. Once they get exposed to it, they pretty much start falling apart. I mean, literally parts start snapping off of them.
And here we can see the first appearance of Fortress Maximus here. And you can see how he looks here. And I think we're at the last issue of, the last issue of More Than Meets the Eye. And here you can see what I was telling you before. Fortress Maximus just starts going on a rampage on these two Decepticons here.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty bad.
And I'm trying to like get to the part where Fortress Maximus. And we also have an appearance of this robot here, which I'm trying to see. Okay. This robot here, which we are going to see more of, his name is Pharma here. And here you can see Fortress Maximus basically just punches the Decepticon here in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does next is here Fortress Maximus opens up a little thing on his chest, and he shoves one of the Decepticons' head in it, and basically just crushes his head.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. When Metroplex got back on his feet...
Fortress Maximus.
Thank you, Fortress Maximus. When Fortress Maximus got back on his feet and he saw those two Decepticons, they had a bad day. Because, it's just what he wanted to see when he got all better and healed. He's like, nope, wrong place, wrong time. Y'all gonna wish that y'all was never here. And a bunch of more stuff happens. So, like I said, these books that my son is going through, they're adult books. They deal with adult issues.
Because IDW is not really kid-friendly.
No.
Like the cartoons or the movies.
Right. These right here take more of an adult view on a bunch of situations.
So that's the last issue of the More Than Meets the Eye issues here that we have. Now we're at the last issue of Robots in the Skies, where we see Orion Pax. Yes, Optimus is no longer Optimus anymore. he's now Orion Pax.
Because remember, in one of the episodes and stuff like that, he took the Matrix and ripped it in half. So he's no longer Optimus Prime. He is basically just an Autobot out soul searching, wanting to get information, and just wanting to do his own thing.
And he flies off to another planet here. Well, here we can see we do have an appearance of Shockwave here. And he's going out to find some things. We are almost done with this book. We just have one issue left of Robots in the Skies, and then we're done. So here we can see Orion Pax with some others, including Wheelie and Garnock here from one of the issues, and also from a spotlight from Phase 1.
Right, Garnock is a alien from another planet that kind of assembled and made his family the Autobots, more or less. A couple of Autobots, not all of them.
And here we can see this robot who is G-Axis here, who is strapped to here. And also Orion Pax and Hardhead went out to go look for some things, and Wheelie and Garnock are dealing with their own situations. And here you can see Orion Pax and Hardhead come across this frozen thing. And here at this corner, you can see there is a robot who is frozen in ice, who is a combiner, and that is Monstructor.
Monstructor. He was a real Transformer in the Generation 1, but he was very odd. But it was a combiner, no less.
And you can see Monstructor just breaks free. And Orion here is calling up Wheelie, but he also gets a call from another robot who is this guy here named Bludgeon. And what Bludgeon does is he basically just stabbed Wheelie in the chest with his sword here. And now Orion Pax and Hardhead are running from Monstructor here. And here in this page, I think Hardhead here was telling Optimus, Orion Pax, that they need to go back to the planet where Wheelie came from. which was from the spotlight of Wheelie. But then Wheelie here in this last page is like, no, I don't want to go back to that planet. And he also breaks his rhyme scheme. Yes, he breaks his rhyme scheme. And that is the end of this first volume of Phase 2. So now let me adjust the camera up some.
And keep scooting back. Scooting back, forth, back, up, down, left, right. Okay.
So that is the first issue of Phase 2 of the IDW Transformers comic here, or hardcover book.
So it was a pretty good book. It had a bunch of surprises in it. Some things that I didn't expect. Some of this has to do with, and it sounds weird, but some of this has to do with life lessons.
Yes.
So I can respect that aspect. Because I think that we've probably been there all at one time in our lives where we had to make decisions that were very hard. But we had to know we had to do them. Because it was the best thing to do. Or the right thing to do. No matter how difficult it was. Anyway, not getting off into any of that. I like the book. The book had some ups and downs, some things that were surprising, and what'd you think of it? What's your thoughts on it?
I also really like it.
Can you see the book or me? Okay, good. Can you see the book?
See it.
Okay, go ahead.
I also really like it too. And because I think what IDW is doing here in this new phase is what will happen if the war ended. So IDW is like, we need to figure out a way to show what will happen if the war ended. And that's what they did.
So that right there is a good point. If the war ended and you had 3 factions on this planet and they had to learn how to get along, live, and make the world a home again, it's some pretty interesting content there. Because you got to remember, you're dealing with the past, but you also have to deal with the future and the present. So there's just a bunch of mechanical parts being played there as it rolls out. So, with that said, I think that is about it, unless you want to add something else.
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
So, if y'all like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more.
Oh, and another thing he said on the last review, he said us, he actually meant him. Because sometimes I'm not in all these all the time.
Right.
And when he does it, it just gets so I reviewed it tonight before we actually made this one, and I was reviewing it in the living room, and he comes walking out, and he said it, and I looked at him, and he looked at me. He just grinned.
Yes.
So anyway.
That was from my Beast Wars Transmetal Tarantulas video.
So bad, y'all. I mean, you know. Polished we're not. But we do have fun. And that's what matters to me. You know, fun Make it exciting. Tell what you think about it. Be it a toy or anything like that. And just have fun. And being when I can with my son. And thank you for watching. And that's about it. That's all I gotta say. And whatever else he wants to say.
I was about to do I was about to do the ending of this video.
Okay, go for it.
So, if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. Okay,
with that said, before it says any more, take care of yourselves. It's awfully hot. The heat out there is, woo, take your breath away in a minute, but we all have to deal with it, especially if we have outside work. And y'all just take care of yourselves in the heat. It's hot. We will get through this together. Y'all just take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Don't get dehydrated.
right.
So anyway, that's enough of the weather report. Go ahead.
So, I think that is about it. So, thanks for watching.